Then they'll be hauling heavier loads that are a little more water than salt. We want to make sure that we get the amount that we're really paying for. They notify us and whichever yard is getting salt that day, and we'll go out and we'll grab that sample, and preferably we get there in time that they don't push the loads up. We wait for a truck to show up and we get the load right away, and we go randomly around the pile and we get approximately half a bucket to a full bucket of salt. We don't want to have a chance of getting any debris that might have been in the dome, or sometimes they can't help it and they're dumping in a water puddle depending on how the dome drains. And then we take that out of the equation. We're taking that sample pretty much directly from 3 feet up is in the specification on how we're supposed to sample and test. So we're that way, if we adhere to that, then we're taking exactly what came out of the truck. Okay, now that we've gotten our salt sample back to the lab, I went up and I made the sample IDs in ASHTOware. I send a small sample to OMM so that they can also test the salt that's up to our satisfaction. And now I will go and split our sample down to between 1,000 and 1,500 grams. And we'll place it in the oven and we'll dry it for approximately 1 hour. And then we'll come back and we'll check the weight, and then we'll go 30 more minutes and we'll check it again. And if we don't have any more change in weight to a very small percentage, then we'll consider it dry. And we're going to see how much moisture it loses. And we're looking for 2% or less. If we're more than 2%, then there's going to be a deduction given to the vendor. You know, on days like this in the winter, there's naturally going to be some moisture in the air, which the salt will draw that in. And sometimes in the stockpile isn't always covered to the best of their ability, and it gets rained on or it gets snowed on, and then they'll be hauling heavier loads that are a little more water than salt, a little more moisture in there. And so, yes, we want to make sure that we get the amount that we're really paying for. Okay, so that's our beginning sample weight before we do the real testing on it. Into the sieve. Inside the Marianne, this rotates, and these hammers slap it. It goes again, leans against these rollers when the machine leans back, and these hammers tap on it. And so it gets shaken and spun at the same time, and you get the material going down through the various sieves. Because we want it to be pretty uniform, so we have too much fine, it goes right through the truck and through the spreader, and it blows into the grass and it doesn't stay. And too much of the big coarse stuff, of that stuff, it just kicks up and beats up people's windshields and the nose of their car. But just enough of that is what really gets in there and starts eating up the bad stuff that's frozen to the road and hard packed and everything. So you want a nice assortment of what you have. A little fine, little coarse. The dusty stuff down here toward the bottom will do its job also, but